Hello, welcome to Real Bass Lessons. This week we're in for a treat. We're going to do some Bossa Nova. I have found that Bossa Nova bass line is so intoxicating. Just that repetition of that root and fifth just feels so good. Bass players, root and fifth, right? I've taught Bossa and played Bossa forever. Now I want to make a little disclaimer, and that is I'm not going to show you the intricacies of authentic styles from Latin America, from Brazil, but I'm going to show you just a fundamental Bossa Nova groove with some variations that I've played all my life and have worked really well. I've actually been fortunate enough to travel to Brazil, I believe it's 8 times now, and every time I get to play with a bunch of the guys down there, and my lines work real well. While they're not quite, what some of the guys are doing down there, they just groove like crazy. And I also should say that it's only been the last 10 or 12, 15 years that really we've been teaching, something other than the standard Bossa Nova groove, which we all played for 50 years. That came from Stan Getz and Girl from Ipanema song. Let's get into it, okay? By the way, I'm going to teach a bunch here, and then I'll do some demonstration of it with a play-along afterwards. Right on. We start with just the root and the fifth, and we'll end with the root and the fifth. Basic rhythm, dotted quarter, eighth. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. It's a dotted quarter, eighth followed by another dotted quarter, followed by an eighth. Let's do that a little bit more. Get your bass out and play along. And let's just do it on this D here. So it'll be D and A to get a groove together. 2 and 3 and 4 and... Yeah, there's nothing hard about that at all. I can tell you from experience of playing and teaching, perhaps the hardest thing about Bossa Nova is don't do a bunch of other fancy stuff. Just stay with that basic groove, okay? Now, I do play a few variations. The ones I'm going to teach you today, they're on a page here, and it's out of this book, this Creating Jazz Bass Lines. I've got a whole page of Bossa Nova variations here, and I practice them with students over 2-5-1s, just to get the feel and the sound of that bossa, and to get this basic groove, because it's all about that just simplistic groove, okay? I think what I'll do is I'll tell you it first, and then I'll demonstrate it. First groove is the one I just played. Root and fifth, root, fifth, dotted quarter, eighth, dotted quarter. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. The next variation is I simply take that eighth note and I play it here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. As opposed to 1 and 2 and 3. No, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, and 1 and 2 and 3. Cool. Then sometimes I use this lower fifth, and I use it most often as sort of like a little phrase mark. So here's what I call here example 3. Quarter notes, right? 3, 4, 1. Let me play that little phrase now as I have it written. 2 and 3 and 4. Lower octave. Let me do that one again. This is example number 3. 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 4 and 1. Cool. Now, in this next example, we put some ties in. I'll play it, then I'll talk it. Example 4. 3, 4. 1 and 2. Sure, it's still the same rhythm, dot eighth quarter note, but now I'm tying some of those eighths to the quarter. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Instead of 1 and 2 and 3. Let me play it again. Example 4. 3, 4. One more time. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Cool. Same thing with a few more ties, so we get a little more of that offbeat stuff. Example 5, 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. One of the things I like about that, of course, you have that little offbeat feel, but then I use the boom, 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 sort of a cadence. 5, 5, 1, and it's a strong rhythm. Boom, boom, boom. Do that again. Example 5, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2. Repeat it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Cool. Now, in this next one, example 6, I put some ties in, but I put them in some sort of different spots. I use a couple more quarter notes. I think you'll like this. The emphasis ends up being on this one in some places on beat 4, which is often some of the feel that you hear when you're in Brazil, that kind of music. 2, 3, 4. Let's try this one. Example 6. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Again. 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1. Again. 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Cool. Then I have example number 7, and here I have some ties, and I just sort of let them sit a little bit. Let's listen to this one. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. Again. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3. Cool. I'm getting, as you can see, I'm getting to a little more rhythmically variations, but I'm still playing that root on every downbeat, and on beat 3 of every measure, I have the 5th. Now this next one, I'm going to add one pitch. Let me play it, and then we'll talk it out. Listen, I think you'll recognize it. Here it goes. Example number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. Ah. Let's do it again. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, 3. Yeah, it gives you that sort of little island, like you're on the Love Boat. Feel that, oh baby, boo, 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 boo. Maybe a little corny for some songs, but it feels good. Let me emphasize again here. Downbeat, just the root. Beat 3, downbeat, F3, the A, the 5th. Now, I know there's a bunch of other pitches, but don't get fancy. And you say, what do I do after this, Jim? You get this, and that'll work for you. This stuff right here has been working for me for 50 years. If anything, all I do sometimes is I just leave a few notes out. Listen to this. I'll play a little this little variations of this, and I'll leave some pitches out. It creates phrasing. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2. Sure, it always sounds good in a bass line to leave notes out. Now, you can't take that to its, ultimate end of not playing anything. But anytime you can get that groove and play less, oh, baby, that's always going to leave some more space. The song is going to feel right, okay? I think I'll go to that little video play along now, and that is I'm going to play all these examples once through with a little drum track, and you'll feel that groove. All you got to do is just loop that little sucker over and over and over and over and practice with it a whole bunch. I think if you get into Bossa Nova, you're going to love the sound and the feel. And then if you do it enough, more than that even, you'll start to recognize these little influences of these little rhythmic shapes in tons and tons of music. I know I have, and students have over the years. Okay, have some fun with it. Let's go with that video now. Groove.